Minecraft Story Mode is one of those games almost everyone remembers. Even if you didn't play it, you probably watched it on YouTube or heard someone talk about it. It took Minecraft, a game with basically no story, and turned it into this emotional, choice-based adventure full of lovable characters and a surprisingly great story. People loved it. It blew up online, sold incredibly well, and Jesse and the crew became very popular for a lot of young gamers. So of course, after all that success, Telltale wasn't stopping. They made a full second season, expanding Jesse's story and trying a ton of new ideas. But the weird part? Even with all that effort, Season 2 just kinda disappeared. Barely anyone talked about it, a lot of fans didn't even know it existed, and eventually, the entire series was wiped from digital stores completely. So today, we're diving into what happened to the sequel. This is Minecraft Story Mode Season 2. Season 1 of Minecraft Story Mode was massive. It came out in 2015, and in the first week, it sold over 1 million copies. That's crazy for a story game at the time. It was actually Telltale's second best-selling game ever, only beaten by The Walking Dead. Kids loved it, YouTubers loved it, even Netflix loved it. They literally adapted it into an interactive show where you could click decisions using your TV remote. So yeah, with this much success, Telltale doing a second season was basically a guarantee. But when that second season finally came out, something was off. By 2017, the whole Telltale formula wasn't as exciting anymore. The company was making a lot of games at once, like the Batman, Guardians of the Galaxy, The Walking Dead Season 3, and even more. And because they were stretched so thin, the game started to feel the same. Same engine, same animations, same issues. Fans noticed, and interest in Telltale games dropped fast. So when Season 2 of Minecraft Story Mode did drop, it didn't have the same hype train Season 1 did. There wasn't nearly as much marketing, Microsoft and Mojang didn't push it as hard, and even the trailers were kinda quiet. A ton of fans genuinely had no idea Season 2 even existed until years later. Here's the frustrating part. Season 2 is actually really good. It starts with Jesse as the leader of Beacon Town. After everything in Season 1, he's basically a celebrity now, which gives him a lot more responsibility. We got new characters like Jack the Adventurer, Radar, Jesse's awkward assistant, and even Luna the Llama, who's really cute. Oh, and the villain of this season? The Admin. He's easily one of the coolest villains Telltale ever made. The Admin is the kind of villain who instantly takes over every scene he's in. He's basically a god in the Minecraft world, able to twist reality however he wants, but his lack of maturity and need for power ruined him. What makes him interesting is that behind all the theatrics and superpowers, he's incredibly insecure. He wants people to admire him, fear him, and treat him like the center of attention, mostly because he can't stand facing how lonely he actually is.
Everyone likes you, and you're nothing.
Hey! We're not the ones trying to rule the world.
What? No, I'm not. I just wanted people to...
His rivalry with Jesse comes from that insecurity. Jesse has real friends and genuine respect, and that's something the Admin can't fake with power. His backstory with Fred and Zara shows that he wasn't always a monster, but losing the people who grounded him pushed him toward control, obsession, and eventually total corruption. In the end, his lust for control and power is what covered up his painful loneliness. Season 2's story moved faster, the visuals looked better, and overall it feels like Telltale was really trying to improve on Season 1. But even with all those improvements, something still didn't click. Season 1 had huge marketing, ads everywhere. Trailers, YouTubers covering it, Minecraft promoting it, Microsoft promoting it. On the other hand, Season 2 barely got anything. At this point, Telltale was starting to fall apart behind the scenes. Developers talked about long hours, burnout, tight deadlines, and a company making more games than they could reasonably handle. And on top of that, they were still using the exact same engine they'd been using since 2012. It looked old, it ran old, and people were getting tired of it. So Season 2 basically launched into a void. People who played it enjoyed it, but most people didn't even see it come out. Not long after Season 2 wrapped up, things took a turn for the worse. Telltale kept releasing games non-stop, but didn't give themselves enough time to innovate, or even breathe. Then, in 2018, out of nowhere, Telltale shut down almost overnight.
Telltale Games has laid off a majority of its employees, and it looks like the company is down to just a small staff, and they're only there to finish up the last season of The Walking Dead.
Hundreds of employees were laid off suddenly, and there was only around 25 left to finish certain projects. Several games were cancelled mid-development, and the studio that basically defines choice-based storytelling was gone. This also meant Minecraft Story Mode's future ended instantly. No Season 3, no continuation, nothing. Then something even stranger happened a year later. In June 2019, both seasons of Minecraft Story Mode were delisted from every digital store. PlayStation, Xbox, PC, mobile, heck, even the Netflix show was removed. You literally cannot buy the game anymore without paying more than $100 on eBay. If you didn't own it before 2019, it's basically impossible to play now. This frustrated many newcomers who found out about the game and wanted to play it for themselves. It also upset old fans who were very fond of the game and couldn't even play it anymore. Licensing issues after Telltale shut down was the main cause of this. Microsoft and Mojang technically own the rights, but they've never announced plans to bring back the game. Minecraft Story Mode just vanished. So after everything we've talked about, there's one big question left hanging over Minecraft Story Mode. Could it ever come back? The answer is complicated. Telltale technically exists again after the 2018 shutdown. The name and some of the back catalog games were bought, and a new version of the studio was formed. But here's the thing. This new Telltale isn't the same group of developers who worked on Minecraft Story Mode. It's a much smaller team with different leadership and a very different direction. Their focus right now is on reviving older licenses and creating new narrative projects, not revisiting every old series. And when it comes to Minecraft Story Mode specifically, the biggest roadblock isn't Telltale, it's licensing. And right now, there's no indication that Microsoft or Mojang see Minecraft Story Mode as a priority. But here's the interesting part. There is some good news, but not in the way you might think. A dedicated group of fans have stepped into the void, producing a fan remake of Minecraft Story Mode on YouTube. There isn't a whole lot of information about this, but it was announced at least a year ago. It won't be an actual game, but rather an animated show with the original characters. The team is remixing the story so that it both honors the original and offers something fresh. The community seems to be excited, with threads and subreddits noting how this doesn't feel real and how amazing it looks. Unfortunately, the series announced it won't be coming out in 2025, but many fans are still very hopeful it will release soon. While it remains unofficial, the passion behind the project shows how much the original series still resonates and how fans are willing to take matters into their own hands to keep the story alive. For now, Minecraft Story Mode sits in a weird spot. Not officially dead, not even close to active though. It exists because fans remember it, talk about it, and keep it alive. And honestly, that's kind of fitting for a series built entirely on adventure, creativity, and imagination. Minecraft Story Mode Season 2 isn't talked about much today. A lot of people forgot it even existed, and an entire generation of Minecraft players probably don't even know it was ever a thing. But honestly, it's a great game. It has a cool villain, fun new characters, and a story that feels bigger and more personal than Season 1. Telltale clearly put a lot of heart into it, even during a rough time for the company. Sure, the game faded away, but that doesn't mean it wasn't worth remembering. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, it really helps the channel out. And let me know in the comments if you played Season 2 or if you're just now finding out it existed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.